Yo, 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 what's up, friends? My name is Joe Idone. You can find me on Twitter at TourPicks, and I am here and excited on behalf of RotoBaller to bring you the first ever edition of launching Longshots, where I'm going to give you three guys in the long shot range this week at the Sony Open who I expect to play well, and I'm betting to win with my very own dollars. Before we get into the players this week, I want to talk about RotoBaller and the promo code that I have that is now active, which is at Lines, Lines. That's going to get you access to all of my exclusive content with the RotoBaller team, which I'm thrilled to be a part of. My course preview article is there. You're going to get my power rankings every single week for every single tournament that comes out, which will hopefully start your prep for the week with those two pieces, followed by my exclusive premium article that is for members who are subscribers to the premium portion of the PGA channel. That is going to be the market movers piece, a piece that I'm pouring my heart into that I think is going to be extremely valuable and actionable for any better or DFS player in professional golf out there. You're going to get Discord access. You're going to get access to Byron, to Spencer, to Joe's articles, as well as many other and all the great contributors we have on the RotoBaller team, the PGA Roundtable, exclusive video content like you're seeing with your very own eyes right now. All of that with any PGA subscriber, premium subscription that is going to get you 10% off when you use that promo code LINES. And that way they know that I sent you. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your patience. Let's get right into the long shots. Starting this week off at the Sony Open, I have a player that is 65 to 1 that should not be 65 to 1. That number is currently available over at FanDuel. He is a top 15 player in the world and essentially has been for all of the end in the final 6 months of 2023. He currently has now been pushed out to the spot of number 16 in the official world golf rankings. He is the fourth highest ranked player in this field behind only Matthew Fitzpatrick, Brian Harman, and Tyrrell Hatton. You got it. I'm talking about Keegan Bradley. It is a striking value play on Keegan Bradley at 60 or 65 to 1 this week. I mentioned those other three guys. He is basically triple their price this week on the odds board. Let's take a look first at why and try to figure this out. So I want to look first at his course history, which isn't available here. This is a golf course in Waialae Country Club that is the second most predictive course annually on the PGA Tour via Data Golf, behind only Augusta National. His finishes in the last 6 years have been okay, right? He's made the cut in 4 of the last 6 years. 12th, 12th, 29th, 39th are his best finishes. So what happened to Kapalua? Well, I'll tell you what happened to Kapalua. He bled a ton of strokes putting. You see it right there. One of the worst putting performances of his career, and one of the worst ones that we've seen since, I believe, the 2019 Waste Management Phoenix Open for Keegan Bradley with the flat stick. Clearly, there was some rust with what is the most volatile club always in Keegan's bag. But here's the point, right? We embrace volatility in this long shot range. We're happy with volatility, especially with the putter. His last 5 starts in the ShotLink era are -5, +2.9, +1.5, -1.9, +4.1, and +7 strokes gained putting via Fantasy National, and that was a win. It was one of his worst putting performances, like I mentioned, in a long time for Keegan, but he gained those strokes tee to green. He was pretty good on approach, encouraging signs. The argument I'd like to make for Keegan is that he is a phenomenal, and I mean really good short to mid long iron player. His last 24 rounds played, he ranks number 1 in the entire field from 75 to 175 yards on approach play. Number 1 last year, 60% of the shots on all approach shots came from within that parameter, which is well above the PGA Tour average. He's certainly accurate enough off the tee to not find himself in too much trouble. He ranks in the top 25% of the field in terms of good drives gained, and he's really been able to accelerate and hit the gas on short golf courses, one of them being the Travelers, where he got that win in the fall. He's fourth in strokes gained total and ninth in birdie or better rates on courses under 7,200 yards. If you're looking for high end value and win equity in the 60 to 1 range, look no further this week than Keegan Bradley. Okay, moving on to the number two guy in the long shots video. He's 100 to 1. That number's available at FanDuel and Caesars and a bunch of offshore places. Short game wizardry, which has come into play many times here at Waialae Country Club. We've seen Cam Smith do it. We saw Siwoo Kim essentially win it with a chip in last year. JT with the course record. Hideki's phenomenal with the short game. Ben Griffin, guys, is a top 5 short game player in this field on Bermuda grass. It is by far his best surface. He comes in with the fall swing where, let me pull up Ben Griffin here, where he made 5 out of 6 cuts and actually played fantastically throughout the entire fall. Probably should have won the Sanderson Farms after a final round 74 left him 1 stroke short of a playoff with Luke List. He also recorded an 8th place finish in his last recorded PGA Tour start at the RSM Classic that you see there with the T8 in mid-November. Griffin finished 12th in his debut at the Sony Open last season. He's not very long off the tee, Ben Griffin. He averages, in fact, just over 290 yards, which is one of the shorter players on tour that you don't see a lot of guys like this coming up through the PGA Tour ranks anymore. But this Waialae Country Club, I would make the argument, is one of the rare stops on the PGA Tour where you can get away with not bombing at 305 off the tee. Here's a quote from Kevin Kisner, who I thought was fantastic on the coverage last week on Waialae. It's point A to point B and make some putts. That's kind of my MO on the PGA Tour. And I appreciate when we get courses that play in that manner where it's not really about how far you can hit it. Ben Griffin reminds me a lot of a younger Kevin Kisner. He's a player right now, without a doubt, stepping onto Waialae with incredible motivation and early season success in the FedEx Cup points piling up on his mind, squarely on the top of his mind, and particularly with a course setup like this, that should be a great fit for his style game. Okay, you want an absolute bomb to throw in there? How about 175 to 1? That number is available on betonline.ag. And this dude was just feeling himself this fall. A Bermuda grass savant who's in the midst of the easily the best run of his entire career. This guy's found something with his irons, ladies and gentlemen, and it's Mr. Vince Whaley. Vince has been a stud throughout the fall. He's gained strokes on approach in 5 of his last 6 events during that fall swing. And before that, to put this into a little bit of context of the strides that he's been able to make with the irons, the previous calendar year before those 6 starts, right? July 2022 to July 2023. Vince played in 12 PGA Tour events with measured strokes gained data, and he only gained strokes on approach in 2 of those events. Now, like I mentioned, he's done it in 5 out of 6. He's also putting it better than he ever has before in his career. He's averaging 2.2 strokes gained putting during the fall swing, which is by far the most over any 6 event stretch in his entire career. Another significant improvement. Before this 6-week or 6 event stretch, Vince Whaley had lost strokes putting in 8 of his previous 10 starts. His last start at the Sony in 2022, he finished T17, so checks a little bit of a course history box there. He packs enough power, right? This guy hits it over 300 yards on average off the tee. But the big difference for Vince Whaley is he's hitting over 74% of greens in regulation in the last 24 rounds played. You aren't going to find many players over 150 to 1 this week and sub $7,000 in DraftKings who are hitting 75. We're hitting 3 out of 4 greens in regulation. His 6 starts over the fall swing, I wanted to go over this: 25th at the Fortinet, 28th at the Sanderson, 13th at the Shriners, 55th at the Worldwide Technology, 8th at Bermuda, 13th at the RSM Classic. He is coming in with confidence. And the big thing that I like to look at with these, I'm going to call them tier 3 or C level players. And I don't mean this as an insult to Vince Whaley, but I definitely put an increased elevated emphasis on really short-term form with these type of players. They naturally throughout the season, I have found, tend to go through greater ebbs and flows and ups and downs. They aren't as consistent as tier A players, and that's why they're priced where they are at. So when they are on a nice little run of form and things are clicking with the iron play and they've got some confidence with the putter, that's the right time to play him. Vince Whaley's 175 to 1 this week to win the Sony Open. You can also get him at roughly plus 450 to finish top 20 this week, pretty much everywhere that you look. Those are my three guys. Those are your launching long shots for the Sony Open. I wish you all the best of luck. Make sure to subscribe to the premium content over at RotoBaller to get access to every single thing that I do and these other great content creators as part of the team. I really do feel like we all bring something valuable to the table. Thank you for giving me your time. It's been just over 10 minutes. I hope you enjoyed this long shots video. I'm going to catch you next week for the American Express. I'm out of here. Peace out, gang.